Veteran truckers call it the pass that punishes every mistake. This is a stretch where 4,260 feet of elevation and more than 200,000 vehicles a day collide with physics, wind, and fate. Here, one wrong move sends 18-wheelers into runaway ramps used 5 times last year alone. Why does this highway destroy even the most experienced drivers, and what happens when the Cajon Pass proves unforgiving? Between the San Bernardino and San Gabriel Mountains, the Cajon Pass forms a natural corridor carved by the San Andreas Fault, a narrow gap that has become one of the most critical freight arteries in the western United States. At its highest point, the Cajon Summit, Interstate 15 crests at 4,260 feet above sea level. Every day, more than 200,000 vehicles funnel through this mountain divide, a relentless stream of commuters, tourists, and heavy trucks carrying everything from fresh produce to electronics. For long-haul drivers, there is no practical way around it. The Interstate 15 here is the only high-capacity freeway connecting the ports and warehouses of Southern California to the high desert, Las Vegas, and the wider interior west. Alternate routes are slower, more remote, and often less safe, forcing the entire supply chain through this single exposed choke point. The geography leaves little room for error. The pass slices through steep, unstable terrain, with the freeway hugging the contours of the mountains. Freight trains and power lines share the corridor, amplifying the sense of a man-made lifeline cut through raw geology. Veteran drivers know that the climb to the summit is only the beginning. Once over the top, the southbound descent starts almost immediately, and every truck is committed to the grade. There is no easy pull-off, no detour, no way to avoid the challenge. Day and night, the volume never lets up. In the cab of a semi, surrounded by hundreds of other trucks and thousands of cars, the sense of exposure is constant, a reminder that everyone on this stretch is at the mercy of the mountain, the weather, and the unbroken flow of traffic. Southbound from the Cajon Summit, the grade drops fast and hard. It falls over 1,000 feet in just 5 miles, with the road pitched at 6% for most of that stretch. For a fully loaded semi-truck, gravity becomes an unrelenting force. Every pound of weight and every mile per hour adds to the heat building inside the brake drums. If a driver enters the descent too fast or misses the right gear at the top, there is no second chance. Friction brakes, meant for short bursts, are forced to hold back 40 tons for mile after mile. The heat soars. At 600 degrees, brake linings begin to lose grip. At 800 degrees, the pedal goes soft and the truck stops responding. The smell of burning linings fills the cab. Some drivers try to recover by downshifting late or pumping the brakes harder, but the physics will not budge. The only option left is the Runaway truck ramp. The Runaway truck ramp is a gravel bed carved uphill into the mountainside, designed to swallow a rig at highway speed. It is about 1,200 feet long, filled with deep, loose aggregate. In 2019, according to California Highway Patrol records, it was used 5 times by both trucks and passenger vehicles. For one driver, the choice came in a split second. Brakes gone, speed rising, traffic ahead. He steered right, hit the ramp, and felt the truck sink and shudder as gravel piled up around the wheels. When the dust settled, he sat in silence, alive but shaken, staring at the blackened, smoking metal where his brakes had been. The ramp had done its job. On this grade, it is the last line between disaster and survival. Wind is the wild card in the Cajon Pass, sometimes invisible, sometimes roaring like a freight train through the corridor. During a strong Santa Ana event, gusts reach 60 to 80 miles per hour, enough to shove a loaded semi across a lane or tip a high-profile trailer onto its side. These winds funnel through the narrow gap between the mountains, accelerating as they squeeze past the ridges. For truck drivers, the steering wheel can suddenly feel weightless, the rig at the mercy of forces far beyond human control. NOAA records show that 10 to 25 Santa Ana events sweep through the pass every year, each one lasting hours or even days. When the winds fade, the danger does not end. Dense fog can descend in minutes, dropping visibility from miles to a few truck lengths. Drivers who left the summit under clear blue sky can find themselves in a gray out, headlights swallowed by a wall of mist. Caltrans weather sensors and wind monitors flash warnings on electronic signs, but the microclimate can change so quickly that even the best technology struggles to keep up. In the Cajon Pass, the atmosphere itself is unpredictable. One moment a howling gale, the next a silent trap of fog. For those behind the wheel, it is a reminder that the greatest threats are not always visible until it is too late. On a quiet morning in May 1989, the Cajon Pass became the scene of a disaster that would haunt the region for decades. A Southern Pacific freight train, overloaded by nearly 3,000 tons due to a clerical error, began its descent towards San Bernardino. Several locomotives had malfunctioning dynamic brakes, a detail missed by the crew. As the train gathered speed on the steep grade, it blew past the 40 miles per hour limit, accelerating to nearly 90 miles per hour. At the foot of the pass, the train left the rails and tore through Duffy Street, crashing into homes and igniting chaos. 4 people died instantly, their houses flattened in seconds. The wreckage settled, but the danger lingered beneath the surface. 13 days later, a petroleum pipeline damaged by heavy equipment during the cleanup ruptured and exploded, killing 2 more and destroying 11 more homes. Survivors recall a roar like thunder and a fireball that lit the night sky. The official investigation pointed to a simple truth. On Cajon's grade, gravity and miscalculation can be fatal, no matter the vehicle. The same physics that doomed that train threaten every truck that enters the descent today. Crashes are a daily reality on Interstate 15 through the Cajon Pass. According to California Highway Patrol records, this short stretch has one of the highest rates of fatal collisions per mile in California. Nearly 20 people lost their lives here in just 2 years. That toll weighs heavily on everyone who makes the run. The risk isn't limited to weather or grade. It is the constant threat of sudden stops, chain reaction pileups, and trucks that can't slow down in time. Near Kenwood Avenue, a pickup slammed into a stopped box truck, setting off a backup that stretched for miles. For a younger driver, the first descent can be overwhelming. Hands tight on the wheel, eyes darting between gauges and brake lights ahead, knowing that a single mistake could mean disaster. Every trip through the pass is a test, and not everyone makes it home. CHP patrol cars are a constant presence on the Cajon Pass, watching for trucks barreling down the grade above posted limits. By law, multi-axle trucks are capped at 55 miles per hour in California. On the steepest southbound stretch, warning signs drop that target to 35 miles per hour. Enforcement is a daily battle. In a single 6-hour enforcement blitz, officers issued more than 300 citations, over 200 for speeding alone. Each stop is a reminder that the rules exist for a reason. One CHP officer puts it bluntly, the pass does not forgive. If your brakes fade, you will not get them back. The struggle is not just against drivers pushing the limit, but against the relentless pressure of schedules, fatigue, and the simple physics of a mountain descent. The next line of defense is technology, sensors, and constant monitoring, but the first barrier remains the speedometer. Caltrans fights an ongoing battle against the hazards of the Cajon Pass with a network of technology that never sleeps. Roadway weather stations line the corridor, measuring wind speed, temperature, and humidity in real time. Towers fitted with anemometers and thermometers send data directly to the Caltrans Traffic Management Center. Cameras mounted high above the lanes scan for trouble, capturing traffic flow, sudden backups, and the first hints of fog or ice. When wind gusts reach dangerous thresholds, electronic signs flash warnings to truckers and restrict high-profile vehicles. In winter, sensors alert crews to black ice forming before dawn. The entire system is designed to give drivers and dispatchers precious minutes of warning, sometimes the only thing standing between a safe descent and a chain reaction pileup. Even with seismic upgrades and reinforced pavement, the pass remains a place where technology can only buy time against the forces of gravity and weather. Every day, over 200,000 vehicles face gravity, wind, and speed in the Cajon Pass. Technology can warn drivers, but it cannot undo a split-second mistake. For truckers, survival is never guaranteed here. The road's danger is permanent, because physics never forgives. Share your own stories or thoughts below.